fine.
Wait, you need
trade
that.
you. What up, everybody? Okay, so diesel, yeah. Does it go through a bushing? No, see, I don't know about that because I'm not a mechanic, but let me ask them. So I went out there and I screamed, hey, does it go through a bushing? Somebody said yes, and I said
Yeah.
Hopefully you're right.
How you feeling, Junior?
I'm feeling great.
I can tell.
why does it look like a snake head? Ready to bite you. Limited edition.
What do they got that makes this car smell so good? Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Oh, I need this for my car.
You can take it.
Refresh organic scent. Very cherry.
Very cherry.
Smells like you know when you go to the bathroom and they got like urinal cakes in there, and it smells amazing, but you know you're breathing like 50% piss, 50% urinal cake smell, coated in piss.
Nice.
But you're like, man, this smells good.
I wonder if it does smell good or it's just the piss.
I don't know. All right.
Once again,
We have this 2019 2500 Ram wrapped up. We did a 5 to 6 inch Kelderman front and rear setup with airlift control. I'm pretty sure we did the self-leveling setup. And yeah, so we have previously done a Is It Worth It for the Vertex, the Rough Country Vertex coilovers. So the topic of is it worth it, it's kind of hard to say for different things because it's a little bit subjective based on how much you're willing to spend, what you're trying to achieve. Are the features you're attaining worth the trade-off of some of the maybe comforts or other things worth it? So this kit has the Raptor Kelderman reservoir shocks on all 4 corners. So from Kelderman, the Msrp for the front and the rear combined comes out to just over 10,000. I think it's 11,000. And then the airlift management system adds another 4,000. So before tanks or self-leveling or any of the features that you can add to the system, you're at 15,000 before powder coat, wheels, and tires. This is actually the Hemi. This is not the Cummins. To our knowledge, this is like one of the first ones to ever have this set up on a 2500 Hemi, which is pretty cool. There might be other ones out there. We're not trying to be. I'm not trying to brag on the fact that we're the first ones to do it. But the reason I bring that up is because in order to run the 5 to 6 Kelderman on these trucks, you have to modify the exhaust a little bit just to get it to clearance. But other than that, the kit bolts right up as per usual. The install we did remove the bed for the install. I don't know if that was entirely necessary. I should probably talk to the techs to see. But it definitely made the install easier for the techs. We got this thing on 24x14 American Forces with custom powder coat and 37. What tires did we do? Do you remember? I know what the tread pattern looks like, but I can't remember what. I think they're Toyos, aren't they?
yeah, Toyos.
So a couple things to note about these setups. So there's some maintenance that comes along with these kits. Primarily water in the system. You can get water traps, or you could for the import scene. I don't know what adding a water trap to a Kelderman lift kit. I don't know if that's a feasibility, possibility, whatever. But water in the system is not something you want, and it's easy to, it's a naturally occurring thing with compressed air. Another thing is that you are no longer on a metal spring supporting the truck. It's a rubber bag filled with air. It's not like that's an uncommon thing to have a truck on. You know, a lot of semis use airbags, but for the extra comfort and adjustability, you do have a system now that is a little more prone to So just something to keep in mind. The other thing too is if like you're actually taking this thing off road to like mess around, do some donuts in the mud or whatever. Not that you would probably ever be rock crawling necessarily, but you know, bags they have the potential and ability to unseat at, you know, too much expansion or whatever. So just some small stuff to keep in mind when you're, you know, considering the price tag on one of these setups. I previously had been driving this thing on pretty much maxed out air pressure. Not max, but like I had the height pretty maxed, and it drives horribly when you have these things maxed out or close to maxed out. Right now we have the fronts at about 54 psi and the rears at about 30. Rides way better, not in like the 60-70 range, and the rear, when there's no weight back there, can really bounce around, but honestly really comfortable. The 5 to 6 inch lift I think is like the max amount that I would personally do on a truck, whether it's a fun, like if I'm going to be driving this thing on a regular basis and it's not just like a show piece, the 5 to 6 is the max I'd go. But if I'm like building a truck for show, the 10 to 12 that they offer definitely has that extra cool factor. But I've seen those things rolling around before. I've seen them in videos. Those things have some gnarly body roll, even with like the self-leveling system. And it's really just that extra, I mean, doubling the lift height is pretty incredible. Kelderman is born out of a true enthusiast / like farmer garage, and like the features, it's not like they built this kit just to stunt on other kids or other people, not just kids, you know, on other people at car meets and car shows, truck shows, whatever. You know, it's really a purpose-built brand. So all that to say, is it worth it? Like if I had a truck, I honestly would seriously consider lifting it on the Kelderman system with reservoir shocks. Now that I've gotten to drive it around a little bit with like those bumps with another 20 psi in the bags, and you're basically in a cut springs Honda Civic that's scraping frame, but at the pressure we're at, it's actually quite comfortable, and you still can go up and down. So the other thing too is you can lift the truck with like a 5 inch or 6 inch lift in the front and do just the rear. You know, if you're actually using it to tow and you still want to lift the truck, but you don't want all 4 corners sitting on airbags. You know, there's the cool thing about Kelderman is it's not like a one size fits all type of thing. You know, it's a modular system. So anyways, and you know, if you ever have any questions or whatever about piecing these things together, what you might need it or use it for, we're always happy to help. I know Kelderman's probably also pretty helpful with those kind of questions and stuff. So is it worth it? I think so. It definitely comes with a hefty price tag that you have to swallow down and justify, but the truck looks sweet. It's got some sweet features that you gain with the air ride system. And yeah, that's the 5 to 6 Ram 2500 Kelderman.